Hey guys, welcome back. Now, we could be on the verge of Ethereum making shocking gains against the king, Bitcoin. It's no secret for the past 2 years, it's pretty much been the Bitcoin show. Bitcoin maxis have been having an amazing time. However, it's now time for reversion to the mean, which is why in this video we'll be looking at why I think a huge wealth transfer swinging back to Ethereum is coming, then why Ethereum is a sleeping giant, what's going on behind the scenes that most people don't know about, and then we'll finish looking at the 2 crazy price moves Ethereum did in the last 2 post-halving years. Okay, so first up, I believe Ethereum is quietly setting up for some massive moves against Bitcoin, and here is why. So the first place we are starting off has to do with the Bitcoin to Ethereum ratio. And currently with Bitcoin around about 2 trillion market cap, Ethereum around about 400 billion. This means Ethereum is about 20% of Bitcoin's value. And interestingly, this actually reminds me of the gold to silver ratio as well. And Bitcoin is like the modern version of gold. Ethereum is very similar to silver, where silver is used in industry. So not only is it a monetary metal, it's also used in cell phones and cars, similar to how Ethereum is being used in a lot more different applications than Bitcoin, which is very good at being hard money. And like the gold-silver ratio, investors also play this ratio. So if gold gets really overvalued in comparison to silver, investors will buy more silver. When silver makes up the difference, people move back to gold. And this is one of the things I think is going to happen with Bitcoin and Ethereum. So at the peak of the last bull market in 2021, this is what the ratio got to. Ethereum moved all the way to half of Bitcoin's value, and this is when people were saying that Ethereum is going to flip Bitcoin. And so what this suggests is that over the coming weeks and months, Ethereum could be making 2-to-1 gains against Bitcoin, all part of this wealth transfer. Now, flipping over to Bitcoin's chart, and this has to do with the principle of buy low and sell high, and also reversion to the mean, similar to the ratio that we just looked at. So a lot of institutional grade investors will look at Bitcoin's previous high, which was this line here, and they'll see that from the last all-time high, Bitcoin is now up about 38%. And then when they look at Ethereum, Ethereum is not above its previous all-time high, it's still quite far below. In fact, if we take a reading, it's about 46%. So this is another reason why Ethereum is looking very cheap relative to Bitcoin right now. And this is another thing that the big investors will take into consideration. And then finally on this, if we take a look at BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF, is it a coincidence that on one of the first trading days back in January 2025, it's just seen its largest outflow since inception? So its biggest one-day outflow in this previous 6-month history. So this would suggest that the big rotation that I'm talking about is already underway. Now, for this to fully happen, it would mean that Ethereum is going to be coming roaring back from the dead. So we just need to make sure that Ethereum is not quietly dying in the background. The big question is the Ethereum ecosystem strong? Has it got good foundations to make this big rotation happen? Well, this is something that the vast majority of crypto investors will not have seen, and it has to do with the monthly active developers working on all the different platforms. And the fact of the matter is, in every single continent, whether it's Asia, Europe, North America, Africa, or South America, Ethereum is the #1 platform chosen by developers in every single continent. So this is a very valuable piece of information to know. Also, it looks very good for Solana. So Solana is actually #2 in every single continent. So again, a very valuable piece of information there. Then in Asia, Polygon, which is also Ethereum, is #3. In Europe, it's Polkadot. North America, it's Base, also part of Ethereum. Africa, interestingly, it's ICP. And then South America, also Polygon. So what I call the smart money, the active developers, the vast majority of them are choosing to build on Ethereum. Now, one of the big things that's going to be a big part of this next bull market is Ethereum Layer 2s, something that wasn't really around in 2021. And as you can see, when it comes from a developer's point of view, in 2021, there was probably about 100 developers maybe working on one Layer 2. And since then, over the last couple of years, this is now 3,500 developers working on the Layer 2s. And which Layer 2s? Well, as you can see, most of the developers are working on the mainnet. However, it's Base, the L2 launched by Coinbase, that has the most developers, and then these are the other top 7. So this says things are looking good for Coinbase in this next big bull market as well. Now, let's make sure that Ethereum has lots of use cases, that it's not just pie in the sky, hopium prices will go higher, but is it actually doing anything? Well, we all probably know by now that Ethereum is dominating DeFi, the world of decentralized finance, where essentially the entire financial system is getting rebuilt in a decentralized way. And Ethereum still controls over half of the total value locked. Next use case, when we look at the DEX volume, and this is decentralized exchanges, we can see it's really neck and neck between Solana and Ethereum. In fact, Solana just slightly above now when it comes to the DEX transaction volume. However, we have to remember that Ethereum isn't just Ethereum. We also have to include Arbitrum and Base and Polygon and Optimism and Blast and Scroll. And when you add all of these together, then Ethereum is #1 when it comes to the decentralized exchanges. Next, this time has to do with NFTs. And this is NFT deployments by chain. And again, we can see, just look at the massive growth in use cases in just the past year for NFTs. This is largely being dominated by Base, but remember, this is part of Ethereum, this part of Ethereum, part of Ethereum, part of Ethereum. So Ethereum dominating NFTs. Next, we have stablecoins. And not only is Ethereum dominating stablecoins, this is stablecoins that are issued onto which chain? Remember, this is Ethereum, 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 and Ethereum. So Ethereum dominating the use of stablecoins as well. Now, to finish up, to give us an indication of how Ethereum might perform over the coming weeks and months, we can look at the last 2 post-halving years. So the first one being 2017, and then the next one being 2021. And then the current one now starting in 2025. So firstly, 2017. So when looking at the Ethereum chart, this is the weekly, and we're seeing what happened in the post-halving year, 2017. What do we see? Well, it indicates that from the start of the year, which is this week here, we had a very strong week opening the week. which is pretty much what's happened right now. We're now just starting the second week, and as at the time of this recording, there's been a small pullback, and lo and behold, the second week of January, there was also a decline in Ethereum. So it's nothing new what's going on right now. And then the next thing is that Ethereum went on an absolute tear all the way to March before getting a nice good sideways consolidation, digesting this epic move here. Then kicking off again in April, it had another massive leg up all the way to June. So for Q1, a bit of a digestion, and then Q2, it was extremely strong for Ethereum. I don't think we'll be seeing the same percentage gains as, remember, this is about 8 years ago, but this crazy gain was over 5,000%. So although I don't think the same percentage gains are coming, this first post-halving year would suggest that Q1 and Q2 this year is going to be very strong for Ethereum. And then finally, if we take a look at 2021, the post-halving year starting in January, we can see again the first week a very strong week. Again, the second week, quite a nasty pullback. This one corrected. There's a 30% pullback right there. Now, the run lasted all the way to about the middle of February before we getting a good correction, some sideways consolidation, digesting this big move here. The run continued about end of March, and this time an excellent run all the way up to the second week of May. So again, this would suggest, interestingly, the second week, which is where we're at right now, again was quite turbulent. However, for the coming weeks and coming months in the post-halving year, Ethereum has done very, very well. So as you can see, adding all this together, looking at the Bitcoin Ethereum ratio, looking which ones are undervalued and overvalued in comparison to the previous all-time high, looking at the strength of the networks, and looking at what's happened in previous halving years, this says to me, all in all, there's a good high probability chance that a big Ethereum wealth transfer over the coming weeks and months. We could be on the verge of Ethereum making shocking gains against Bitcoin in the coming weeks and months. When looking at the principles of buy low, sell high, and reversion to the mean, it is Ethereum that's still looking undervalued right now. When looking at the Bitcoin Ethereum ratio, this could be to the tune of 2-to-1 gains. Now, is it a coincidence that BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF saw its largest daily outflow since inception on the first trading day back in January? And finally, as we saw, the Ethereum ecosystem is looking super strong, and if the last two post-halving years is anything to go by, then Ethereum will be going on an absolute tear for the first half of this year. So there you are, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Now, if you do have any burning questions, then simply post them below. However, just remember to get rid of 100% of the comment spam and trading bots that plague YouTube comments. We are trying out the new SuperThanks Commenting system. So to get your question or comment read and replied to, or just to say thanks, then use SuperThanks below. And for now, just to say, if you did enjoy anything in the video, then drop a like, and a big thank you to everyone who does, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.